First Report, Authorities Explorer, Furlight. While we regard humans as Deathworlders, humans believe they are nothing special, and their cultures reflect that. In my year on Earth, yes, I survived for a full year, and not under guard either, I explored their cities, their many professions and education centres, visited their young in parks and grounds of play, and their hospitals. I travelled through thick forests, touched snow in the most remote of mountains, and picked sand from places I didn't know I had, from the hottest deserts. I was forced to go to more than one. I was welcomed into human homes and met the agile Felini, more variants of the barking mad Kandos, the sworn enemy of all ferreters like me, that I care to recall, and the Squawkists in all their vibrant colours and patterns. I also visited their prison systems, where their largest offenders are given lots of room to wander, though they were often in sparsely decorated cement cells, and gawked at excitedly by humans. When I asked what crimes the Elephants committed, I was met with confused looks. The beings I just mentioned are commonplace, but hardly the only life forms on this planet. It seems Earth was either some sort of galactic ark, keeping our genetic material safe and evolving into common animals, the horror, or life from Earth was plucked and placed around the galaxy by some unknown benefactor. I boarded with humans during my time. I had a room to myself, sort of, and slept in an alcove in the living room. Though many treated me like a beast at first, squealing in joy or recoiling in surprise when I returned greetings, I was able to hold many different conversations. Many waved off my comments as some publicity stunt. I was even banned from some places because of what I was, though despite my intellect, I couldn't escape their piercing gaze and the thought that I was less than them. And I believe I finally understand why. In our technological prowess, we have documented the smallest building blocks in the universe, traversed black holes, and created transwarp corridors. We have great monuments, garden worlds, and travelling troops of entertainers. But perhaps humans are simply more curious than us, or more creative, or more deluded. So it was that, after only a week in the company of humans, I discovered the world of movies. The aquatic breen have their oral stories. The sealing have their plays, but stories recorded in the format humans chose are nearly unheard of. Humans are storytellers, as it turns out. Those who have worked with humans can attest to that. And it is their overly active imagination that has sparked their technological advancement. We have more movie nights than moons around Praxis, and during my time, we watched what the humans call the classics. The oldest shows squat bipedal aliens coming down from space in dish-like landing pods. These movies were only in black and white, showing great contrast, but show me what early humans thought meeting us would be like. Then we moved up the timeline a few decades. Colour was invented, and with it, the stories improved. They became almost retellings of actual events, though I was assured they were all fictional. There was no Stargate under Cheyenne Mountain, no Federation to explore the stars, no wartime film crew in a galaxy far, far away, and no flying communication pods that could travel through time. Not even the great exodus to Earth on the Battlestar Galactica was real. Put broadly, we are shown Deathworlders meeting and fighting other Deathworlders for control of the galaxy. How the galaxy could survive such a conflict is beyond me. These all fell under the classification of science fantasy. If you thought Deathworlders fighting Deathworlders was unrealistic, hold on to your seats, pick up your jaws, and prepare yourselves. Deathworlders don't see themselves as Deathworlders. They think themselves fragile. There are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of movies, where humans are killed and even eaten by other creatures, even some in their own world. Some movies will end their list of actors and film crews with the saying, "No animals were harmed in the making of this movie." So at least we know that if we star in any of their stories, we won't be killed. Offing their best friends, the Kandos would probably start a war. If their movies are any indication, humans go where they don't belong. They are land creatures, first and foremost, but venture into the skies and under the oceans, ill-prepared for when something inevitably goes wrong. There was this large swimmer, Jaws they called it, that could eat boats and actively hunted humans for no gain. Serpentines took over and crashed a plane. Twice. And in deep space, a crew of humans was hunted down to the last by an oily black monster the humans affectionately call Xenomorph. The humans had their throats ripped out, led bleeding out as traps, or were covered in acidic blood and saliva. When the humans returned to their ship after their initial encounter, I thought, maybe they'll leave. Surely they've learned their lesson. One of my fellow watchers then turned to me and said, "This is the good part." A human died moments later, when the Xenomorph's youngling broke open his stomach like an egg sac and escaped into the ventilation system, where it ambushed and killed more of the crew. After that eye-opening and sickening experience, I continued my tour of their world. No matter where I went, I found warning signs. Slippery when wet. Stay off grass. Do not point laser at eyes. And this sign has sharp edges are only some of the cautionary labels I've seen. The truth of the matter is, as explained by my human companions, the reason why humans are Deathworlders is that they are not simply smarter than everything else on their planet, or that they have long lives, nor even that they make tools and travel in packs. It's that they will try everything. And I mean everything. If there's a sign saying don't do this, someone has. If something can fit in a human's mouth, it will be tasted. If they think something can't be done, someone is bound to try until they succeed, or the attempts break them. There's a human saying I was referred to. If at first you don't succeed, try again. As a collective, humans know fire is dangerous. You don't eat or drink cleaning solutions, and you don't stick your head in a predator's mouth. Yet the humans do it anyway. I am now operating under the belief that humans built up a resistance over their many lives. They wouldn't be Deathworlders if they didn't, right? Injuries that would be fatal to most species, they power through, and sometimes don't even notice. They repair and replace what is damaged or lost, and keep going, sometimes still thinking they are invulnerable. They can befriend any creature they come into contact with, though usually by trial and error. They have a weak psychic connection, too, wherein they can sense something bad will happen, can feel limbs that are gone, and know when they are being watched. Worst of all, despite everything they do to themselves, the resistances they've built seem not to matter, or perhaps they simply test their resistances. Humans will challenge each other to stupid acts, jump off rooftops and into pools of water, climb the sides of buildings with no safety harness, and dare thunderstorms to strike them down, all in the name of fun or spite. Humans are Deathworlders not because they are curious and long-lived, but because they challenge everything. They dare, even double dare each other to perform acts harmful to themselves, and stand against nature as if they controlled their planet's weather. They fear not lightning, nor powerful beasts, will charge into burning buildings, and step into the void of space and into the deepest oceans. They are an incredibly imaginative lot, too creative for their own good. Our nightmares pale in comparison to theirs. One of their most powerful leaders once said, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself." I disagree. The only thing I've seen scare humans is their own imagination. And it is that very imagination and willingness to try everything that turned humans into Deathworlders.